Hello, fellow remote workers. In this video, I want to share with you why remote work is so social and how you can boost the social aspect of remote work if you are not experiencing working remotely as something that can really connect you with other people. First thing first, because I want to really keep this video straight to the point and very short. I know that I tend to talk too much. So, first thing first, remote work is not COVID. COVID boosted remote work, but it has nothing to do with remote work. So, if you are experiencing remote work as not social, might be because there is an overlap between remote work and COVID. This means that you don't only feel disconnected, like distance-wise, disconnected with your colleagues, but you also feel disconnected with your family and friends because there is a quarantine, because there is social distancing, because there is all those factors that are brought in the remote work experience by COVID. But remote work doesn't have anything to do with it. Remote work is something completely different. You can work wherever you want and you can work whenever you want. But after you finish to work, and also I can argue about this because you can always be very flexible, so you don't have to have 9 to 5 working hours. If you want, perfectly fine. The point is that you are really free to do whatever you want. But whenever you want to take a break, whenever you finish working, usually in remote work only, without COVID, you can go out with your friends and family. The second factor that has a real impact on not perceiving remote work as social is the lack of human factor. There are no spontaneous smiles, nods, winks, invitations to go for a coffee, on to a lunch together, on go for a 5-minute walk. All of this is out of the equation when you work remotely. But this doesn't mean that remote work is less social. It's just perceived as less social because the lack of human factor, is true or might be true only with your colleagues, with your remote work team, not with your family and friends, in the context of a remote work scenario without COVID. So you see, I talked to a lot of people who told me something like, yeah, but remote work is very unsocial. I said, why? Because you have to be at home the whole day. No, that's because of COVID, not because of remote work. Human factor can always be brought in when we have our normal social life. But COVID and all the measurements took that from us. I'm not against the measurements, okay? I'm just trying to be as objective as possible. That's what happened. It's not the fault of remote work. It's not like intrinsically embedded in the remote work scenario to not have any human factor. You don't have that with your colleagues, but you can definitely have it with your other friends and family. How can you now improve the social aspect of remote work? Well, in a nutshell, with two things. First of all, you have to introduce the concept of work-life integration, not more work-life balance. There is nothing to balance here. Because if we see as work and life as two separate things, we have to jiggle around. And the risk is, a high risk is actually that you are going to look at work as interfering with life and life as interfering with work. And it doesn't work like that, because there will constantly be a conflict between these two aspects of your life. But if you think about it, work is part of life. It's not something completely different. It's one of the slices of the pie, the whole pie, called life. The other slices can be family, friends, hobbies, sports, reading, relaxing, cooking, whatever. Work is one slice of the whole pie. So there is nothing to balance here. There is no conflict here. The point is to bring integration, to bring harmony. The second factor is emotional value. You counterbalance the lack of human factor, at least with your colleagues, but in times of COVID, even with your friends and family, by bringing value and emotional value. This means that you are willing to really talk to other people, to listen first, to not be constantly in your mind while you are having a dialogue, to be there for the other person, to really be there, to really listen, to really exercise compassion, to try to be not judgmental at all, try not to have any prejudice. That's what you can do. If you start applying these two aspects, if you start bringing these two aspects right now in your remote work experience, your life will dramatically improve. And not only your remote work experience, but your whole life. If you think about it, if you learn how to integrate work and life, if you bring emotional value in the form of a better communication, a much more open, sometimes much more vulnerable communication, then you can't separate how you are in your remote work context and how you are as a person. You will improve, you will evolve as a person in all aspects of your life. This means that you will improve your whole life. I'm curious, how social is remote work for you? Share all your thoughts, all your experience, if you want, in the comments below. I'm very curious and I will be very happy to read your own experience and to compare what you have to say with mine and to really build a very nice dialogue. You can find a much more detailed explanation about work-life integration, about how to be a team player, about visibility, burnout and unplugging in my video course that is now available online, and you can find the link in the description. If you feel compelled to help me co-create more content, valuable and meaningful content for you, other remote workers, and for future remote workers, subscribe to this channel and give this video a thumb up. Share it with your network, because when we co-create a nurturing environment, our whole life will increase in quality. Thanks a lot, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next video.